Pretty soon we're going to have football on Monday evening, and then we're going to be in trouble, huh? Hopefully not. Hopefully I make the show so interesting that you will tune in no matter what. For all of you who are celebrating Passover, I wish you a very, very nice Passover. Now, I am not Jewish, so I don't know if you say Happy Passover. Amnon, do we say Happy Passover?
We say Happy Passover, Chag Sameach. It's because I am Jewish.
I know you are. And God bless you. God bless you. Good for you. You know, I really do think that people we have such a thing about not categorizing ourselves. You know, I am Catholic, I'm Jewish. It's just lately that we are like that, right?
Yeah, but there's really nothing wrong with saying, I'm Jewish, I'm Catholic,
Absolutely not.
It's fine.
You should be proud of who you are,
Absolutely.
what your parents were, you know?
Right.
One should be proud of that.
You should be proud of your heritage and not be afraid that, we're always worried that, we're going to offend somebody. Forget it.
Yeah.
Stop getting offended.
I agree totally.
Yep.
I agree totally. I am so up that way. Yeah, you know? And what I'm talking about tonight, I want to talk to you about skincare and how some of the cosmetic, not some, all of the cosmetic companies are duping us, men and women, you know, because we are always looking for this promise to be fulfilled. In 30 days, you will look like this other picture that is 20 years younger or has been airbrushed to the yin yang and doesn't have anything else but lips, eyes, and a nose. Doesn't have any expressions, nothing. And that is the 18-year-old one that is depicted with this flawless skin. And you happen to be already 55. Now, you're not going to look like that. You know that, right? We all know that. However, we all have tons of these cosmetic jars in our closet, right? At least 5 or 6. There's this little chat box. I want you to go in there and put your questions and also your comments, okay? You have to sign in, but we do not keep your email or your name or anything. Nothing will be afterwards that you will get emails from me or whatever. None. But do that. Tell me if you agree with me. I was in my former life, before I became a homeopathist, I was a skincare specialist. I guess I still am, right? And I've always dealt with cosmetics and skincare and so on. And those listeners who have been with me for several years, they know that. They know that I have that background. And lately it has come again to me that people, some of my clients would come and say, I have this terrible rosacea, or I have or I have acne, or I have all these wrinkles. Oh, I wish I would just be, I could just erase 10, 15 years from my face. Well, there are hordes of people out there that promise you the fountain of youth. Some of them are called plastic surgeons. Some of them are called skin care or dermatologists also, and they don't have a clue about how to remove wrinkles. They really don't. And then there are many of the skincare specialists. They've had limited training. In the United States, skincare specialists, it's appalling, in many states. Now, every state is different. But in Pennsylvania, you only need 500 hours that you train to be an esthetician. And if you're a cosmetologist, then I think you need 1,500 hours, but most of it is about hair. So skin doesn't get very much, like I said, about 500 hours. So those girls, when they come out of school, they really can't, it's not their fault. They don't have a lot of knowledge. And the cosmetic companies love for you not to be educated. They love that. Why wouldn't they? I mean, we have tons now of the internet where you can look online and so on, and we know parabens are not good for us. We also mineral oils is not good for us. However, all of that is debatable. All of that is debatable. Here's what happens really in reality. You go and you buy one of these pots for, well, jar this size, pretty like this, will probably cost you between 60 and 75 on the low side. On the high side, around $100. So now, you want to be really good to yourself. So you buy the one for $100. And you put it on your skin the first day. Well, nothing much can happen the first day, right? So you put it on for a week. Well, other than that, your skin looks maybe a little softer, a little more, because you put something on it. If you put on one side that cream that you just bought for $100, and on the other side coconut butter that you melt in your fingers and massage in, and do that for a week and see which side looks better. You don't even have to do that experiment. I can tell you, the one with the coconut butter will look better. Why? Because this side where you put the cream on, that cream cannot really enter into the skin for the most part. For the most part, it is loaded with, if you look at the ingredients list of any of these, first one is water, and then you find the oils. They may be called all kinds of things. And then you find a long list. The more expensive the cream, the longer the list is of ingredients. Most of these ingredients are not able to enter into our skin. They're not. The molecule size is too large to enter into the skin. And we have a natural barrier. I have said that many times before. We have a natural barrier on our skin. And that barrier is called the pH level. It will not let water from the outside go into the skin. You can't drown just through your skin. Probably, yes, if you would be immersed in water for a long time without inhaling it, you might drown then. But not really. It takes a long time. The skin is not designed for that. The skin is designed to fend off most everything that you put onto the skin. So where does cosmetics come in there? Well, one of the things with cosmetics is now they have created molecule size, like Matrixyl 3000 is an ingredient that they put into the cream, that the molecule size is so small that it can enter into the skin. And they have not front-loaded the cream with a lot of water. Most of the commercial creams are. My cream that I make is not, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But, and it's not to promote my cream here, but it is, I want to give you some information of why so many of your creams don't work. That's number one, that it just simply cannot enter into the skin. The second one is these creams are made for a cross section of people. So let's say they tested, if they tested, they made this cream and it has been relative successful on a group of 10, 20 people. That's usually not more than that anyway. And they know from the ingredients what the ingredients should be doing. So they put all of this together, put it into a pot, and market it as an anti-aging cream. Now, we know we all age differently. Everybody has a different skin. Everybody also has different habits. Excuse me, different habits. That means one person smokes, the other one doesn't. One person lives with a smoker, the other one doesn't. One person exercises, the other one doesn't. One person washes her face every day with soap and water, the other one doesn't. Some people use a face cleanser. Some others don't. But they all have the same cream. They all have the same cream. It can't work. So if your girlfriend tells you about a cream she bought, that because that's the way we operate, right, girls? Our girlfriend or our friend says, "Stop it." Says, "Oh, you got to try this. I've tried that. That is just so great. Look what it did to my skin, and it looks so great." Well, that may be true. So you buy it, and it doesn't look that great on you for the simple reasons. TC, stop. So it's difficult for the cosmetic companies, but they all tell you, and there's right now I've seen on Facebook just now tons of advertisement for cosmetics and they show you the before and after and so on, and you can tell they are definitely airbrushed. That is not, those pictures are not real. Many of those are not real. Some may, I don't know. I don't want to get any lawsuit from anybody, but I know I've been in this business forever. I have kept my skin and my client's skin always with a cream that I made for that skin. So if that skin is a combination skin, and then we have different combination skins, right? We have the combination skin where it's just a little bit oily, the nose, maybe a little the chin, and maybe a little bit on the forehead. And that's called a combination skin. But then we have a combination skin that's all the way up to here where oiliness is. And they often have breakouts, a few breakouts right here. And forehead, always oily. Lots of men have that, where they are dry just on the sides. And then there are people like me who have really always taken care of their skin and have a very even skin. My skin is not oily or not dry. It is just the way it should be, because I've always taken care of it in that way. I understand what my pH level of my skin is, so I only put products on that complement that. That way, I can coax my skin into a younger look, as it ages. So some people tell me, "Well, you're not aging. You're not, you always look the same." Well, yeah, I do. I do age, but much slower than most other people. And you can do the same. You can do exactly the same. If you don't want to have a custom blended cream, here are a few things that I would like you to remember. I like you to remember that collagen or oils can only stay on the surface of the skin, can only be on the surface of the skin. It's like just like if you have a leather bag and you rub some water into it, then it looks smoother. And if you rub some oil into it, it looks also smoother. It lasts a little longer because the water evaporates right away. And our skin is really like leather. It's a type of leather. And if we put oils on it, it makes it smoother. Now, remember just a little while ago, I said to you it was coconut butter and coconut oil? Well, coconut butter and coconut oil, they have the very low temperature melt. And through that, they can get into the top layers of the surface of the skin. There are 7 layers of the skin. And if you can get something into the first 2, 3 layers of the skin, you have already a ball game. You have already done a lot. That is what I'm doing with the lip rejuvenation. I've been experimenting with that quite a bit now, and I find that coconut butter and a little bit of Vaseline mixed together. You can take a little bit of a lipstick, melt that if you wanted to have it some color, melt that into it, melt that whole thing together, stir it real well, put it into a small pot, and apply it several times a day. You will see that your lips get much softer, and those long lines that you have on the lips, where the lips almost look like they are dehydrated, because they are, that will be revived. So it's a beautiful way of that. I also make that same formula, but with a lip plumper. And if you are interested in any of the things that I'm talking about, you can go to the website my life, my health website. My life, my health website. None of the products, as you know, I am a homeopathist. I do things the natural way. And if you have a skin problem, like for instance, rosacea. Rosacea, there are several homeopathic remedies that speak to rosacea, where you will not have the rosacea as much. You can also, with rosacea, you can heal it by taking your constitutional remedy. For that, you need to go to a homeopathist. But your constitutional remedy will then help you to overcome rosacea, because it will take away the antagonists. That means rosacea flares up when you have a problem, like if you're under stress. If it's very cold out and you come into the room, the blood gets infused into the top layers of the skin, and all of a sudden your skin gets very red and blotchy looking. If you drink red wine, some people get it. They also, some people get it when they eat spicy food or so on. And rosacea can flare up with that. If you have redness continuously, then you don't have rosacea, then you have an inflamed telangiectasias. That means those little blood vessels that are right under, and for men often the nose, they're right under the surface of the skin. Those get inflamed, and then you have this ruddiness, this redness. That also homeopathy can help with that. There are several remedies that speak to it. What you can also do if you wanted to make for yourself a light cream, a natural light cream, you take a little coconut oil and you whip it up with a couple of drops of lemon, and you diluted some chamomile, homeopathic chamomile, in a bottle. Shake it real well and put a few drops of that into the solution. Whip the entire thing up and then put it into a pot. Keep it, you don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. It'll stay for a week, 2 weeks. Make a small amount. And you'll see it works wonderfully. And all the people that buy these natural creams out there, listen, I got news for you. They are not totally natural. If they would be totally natural, you could not keep them on your shelf for months at a time. Most of them they would spoil, not dry up, but spoil. If they dry up, then there was just plain water and oil. But if it is not, if there are no preservatives in there, they will spoil, and they, not pretty. So these natural creams that you buy in a health food store, skin creams, are most of the time not totally natural. They have a hefty amount of preservatives. In fact, the law says so. If you make skincare creams, then you have to put enough preservatives in the skincare cream to be lasting for 10 to 15 years. Yeah. 10 to 15 years. And that is what you put on your skin. Cosmetic companies will not tell you that. They will tell you, oh, it's natural, oh, it works, or whatever. Always read the label. If you have a question on that, please contact me. Homeopath 4 me at live.com. Amnon, do we have any questions or anybody in the chat?
We have in the chat, but we don't have any questions.
All right. Well, seems like I explained myself totally here, huh?
Yeah, let's tell people that if they want to call in, 919-518-9773 or Computers 2K Voice through Skype.
Yeah.
And you also should log in on the page that you're watching right now where it says to enter your handle. Just put your name or handle, whatever you want, and log into the chat, and you can ask questions that way too.
Right.
Back to you.
I will definitely, and if you email me, homeopath 4 me at live.com. I also have a Facebook page, homeopath 4 me. You just put it in, it'll come up. Gisela DiCarlo also comes up. So just contact me if you have questions. Now, for your pets, this is the time of the year when pets also start to scratch. They start to, because sometimes there's small microbes that attack them. Sometimes there are those little fruit flies that are coming out now already. Sometimes, I don't know what it is. it seems to be every year a different cause, where they lick and scratch and what have you. Two things. One is you can put into the pet water. Uh, One thing that you have to put into the pet water at this time of the year is ledum. Ledum. Ledum 30C. The reason for that is because the ticks are out and the biting insects are out. And you want to put ledum in there because I only put like 2 or 3 grains in a big bowl of water, and I let them drink it all day whenever they feel like it. Then if there's any left in the evening, I exchange it for fresh and put again some ledum into it. I do that all spring. I'm pretty much so into the summer, because we live in the woods and there are a lot of biting creepy crawlers around. And I have small dogs. They get bitten, and but if they have some other strange scratching problem where they, constantly scratch, arsenicum is one of the first ones that you should try. If the arsenicum does not work, then, contact me and I will advise you more. We'll have a whole show one day on pets and skin problems. But one of the major things is also is I have 2 dogs that need to be groomed, but I don't take them to the groomer. You know why? Because the groomers use very high suds shampoos for the most part, and they are sulfates. And these sulfates, if the dog has sensitive skin, can cause scratchiness and itchiness. And I usually, if I had to take it to the groomer, I would bring my own shampoo. And I bring a pH balanced shampoo, and I have them then put on a conditioner afterwards that I made with a little bit of fragrant oil, whatever, lavender or some geranium is nice. A few drops of that, a few drops of apple cider vinegar, and just a few drops of very inexpensive hair conditioner that I would have used. Put a few drops of that. Mix the whole thing with water, shake it real well, and then apply that to the coat, and then rinse that off. It soothes the skin. You can also use chamomile in it. Chamomile tea, you can make chamomile tea, put chamomile tea into it, shake the whole thing real well. Especially a light dog will look fluffy and nice afterwards, and they smell nice.
So what kind of shampoo? I mean,
well, you know what? The best thing, what I use, and it's really the best, is I use a pH balanced dog shampoo. And if I can't find one, then I will use just some dishwashing, not antibacterial or anything, a cheap dishwashing, a few drops of that, and mostly water, or a baby shampoo. You can use a baby shampoo also. Anything that is not aggressive and does not really suds up that high. When a shampoo suds up real high, then there are a lot of sulfates in there. And the sulfates, I have this little black poodle. He has skin that he attracts everything. And for the first years, this is the first year that he has no skin issues, because all these years I got him this way. He had big sores on his bodies because there were other issues too, not just the grooming issues. But most groomers use a shampoo that suds up real high. It's a cheap shampoo. It's not a expensive one. I can understand why they do it because they want the dirt off fast and they want it quick and they want all of it off so that the dog is really squeaky clean and they don't want to pay a lot of money for it. So I understand that. But if you have a dog that is very sensitive in the skin, you can't subject to that. I have seen more dogs where they have, oh, my dog itches all the time, itches all the time. Well, you know what? Why don't you tell me of what you do with the dog? Is the dog going to the groomer? How do you give the dog a bath? How often do you give a dog a bath? More than every 3 months once. No dog should get a bath with suds or with soap. If they get wet, you can wash their feet, you can wash their face, maybe wash under their belly if you have a small dog, but not with suds. You shouldn't, because the oils in the hair and on the skin are not there to fend off any kind of aggression from bacteria or biting things, you know?
Okay. And Kathy has a question. She says, when do you use ledum and when do you use arsenicum?
Okay, now both are what we call polyquest remedies, and they have many uses. But I use ledum all spring long, like at least 2 or 3 days a week in their water, because if they get bitten by a tick, the the body will fend it off quicker. I hope. I mean, there are no studies at this point, but I have seen if I give my dogs, lead them in the water, they don't come home with many ticks. And we live in the woods here. I mean, this is this is tick haven here. You know, lots of deer and yeah. So we have we have ticks, lots of it. But they don't come home very often with many ticks, because when I give them the ledum, when I don't give them the ledum, I see that they are more. But I try to all spring and all summer. In the winter time, you don't give them ledum unless you have the ticks in the house, or like this year, there wasn't much of a frost, so we did have ticks at times. But you know, I don't worry about 1 or 2 ticks. Several ticks, yes. But I certainly would never, we've talked about this many times, I would never subject them to any of the neurotoxins that are being sold for flea and tick repellent. If they are neurotoxins to the tick and to the flea, they are neurotoxin to the dog. I mean, everybody should do whatever they think they should do. I just don't, and my animals stay nice and healthy. And the people that I take care of or that I advise them exactly that. Now, arsenicum, you give, for instance, if they lick a lot, you know, and they have these spots, you know, hot spots, and they lick and lick and lick. It's a restlessness. It's like, I don't know if any of you ever had that nervous itch. You just constantly, and it just, the more you scratch, the more it itches. Well, that's the same kind of thing for dogs. And you can just give them a dose of arsenicum, and that should fix it. It often doesn't take more than 3 doses. Always 30C, I would put it in water, Then I shake the bottle real well, or if I put it in a glass, I stir it real well and I take a teaspoon out of it. My dogs, when they know I come with a teaspoon, they lick it up. They're all homeopathic dogs. But if you have a dog that doesn't, put it on to where the pet is licking. If you can't open the mouth. I mean, some dogs, some of the bigger dogs, I probably would look twice and to open their jaw and pour some remedy into it. But just put it onto the paw or onto the hindquarter or wherever they have been licking. Just put the remedy right on that, and they'll lick it off, and that should be fine. Now, if cats have that, you can do the same thing. For a cat, just put it into her water. They will drink it and be fine. Try not to, only in an outside case, try to put it on food, because the remedy will be not as successful if you put it on food. But if there's no other way, put it on food.
What about spraying it on the area?
You can too. Yeah, I've done that too. I've taken a spray bottle, which I do for my remedies, and I shake it and then I spray it. But a pet, especially a cat, doesn't like a spray. Yeah. And a dog, if they're very skittish, they don't really like the spray either. People, no problem, right in the mouth, the spray. But you have to, it really has to be case by case. Yeah, so if any of you, we're coming close to the end of the show, so if you have any questions, ask them now. No, Amnon, we have a group again that doesn't want to. Kathy, thank you so much for your question. I can tell you this, that if you like this cosmetic, that I talk more about cosmetics and how that works and how it works with the skin, please drop me a note or put it into the chat box or into the comment box. I will, Amnon relates it. I will follow your heed. A while ago, you had said an hour show was a little long. I am following that. We're making it 40 minutes, 42 sometimes if I can't shut up in time. But but I always have so much to tell you, and I love doing it. And tell me how you like it. And if you like this 8 o'clock format, we did it for you. We are giving our time, our evening for you, and we hope that you're enjoying that. Please leave me a note whenever you can. Go Twitter me at My Life, My Will, or Facebook me, Homeopath 4 me, or email me, Homeopath 4 me at live.com. It was a pleasure. Thank you for letting me into your home, into your computer. Let me talk to you. I hope you enjoy this show. If you do, please tell your friends. Tell them to listen to the Gisela show on Monday at 8. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
You're tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section on nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Atomos.com, makers of quality video recorders and converters, CarolinaApparel.com, and DeltaForce.net.